My name is Stefanski. And now I'm in the wild world of automotive retail. I'm grabbing the keys to something thrilling. Come along and let's go for a spin. When you think of Volkswagen SUVs, perhaps names like Atlas, Tiguan, or even the old Touareg come to mind. But don't forget about the newest and smallest entry to Volkswagen's SUV lineup, the Taos. Honestly, the Taos doesn't feel as small as it actually is. It's a subcompact, but the inside, pretty nice, big and bright in there. The Taos is basically a smaller Tiguan, still upright in its design, decent proportions, and a very airy, incredibly spacious interior. The Volkswagen Taos is going up against other small SUVs like the Honda HR-V, Chevy Trax, Nissan Kicks, Kia Seltos, and Hyundai Kona. In consumer lingo, these are often called cheap SUVs. I understand the use of the word cheap, referring to low cost. However, looking at the Taos inside and out, I would actually go out of the way to say low cost, because cheap, this is not. It's built solid, has decent materials inside, is very comfortable, rides well, handles fine. Cheap is how I would actually describe some of the other cars that Volkswagen's entry-level SUV is going up against. The next time you're in a Trax, HR-V, Kicks, Kona, or Seltos, pay close attention to the plastics, the build quality, and how tinny the doors sound. Even the tiny Taos is built like a tank. Volkswagen offers the Taos in 4 different trims: S, SE, SE Black, and SEL. They all have the same 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 174 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers aren't bad for a vehicle this size, and really, that small engine is no slouch. The Taos can hit 60 miles per hour in 7 seconds, and that's far ahead of those other subcompacts. They're downright sluggish, needing 9.5 to 10 seconds to make that run. Good job, Volkswagen. Front-wheel drive is standard. Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive is an option on S, SE, and SE Black. But 4Motion all-wheel drive is standard on the range-topping SEL. The front drive models are slightly more fuel efficient than the all-wheel drive ones. You're looking at 28 miles per gallon in the city, 36 on the highway, 31 combined for those front drivers. And on the all-wheel drive ones, 25 city, 32 highway, 28 combined. Another note about the SEL, that is the only trim to offer leather seats. The one you're looking at right here is the base S trim. And even on this one, while yes, you do have manual cloth seats, manual climate, and smaller 17-inch rims, you're still getting LED lights, rain-sensing windshield wipers, and those rims are alloys. No steel wheels with plastic covers here. Stepping up a level to the SE gives you heated mirrors, 18-inch alloy rims, adaptive front lighting with dynamic cornering lights, a wireless charger, and remote start. SE Black is essentially a cooler-looking SE with blacked-out bits, wheels, roof, mirrors, spoiler. It does add a panoramic sunroof too, and a light bar connecting the headlights. Again, the SEL tops the Taos lineup. The blacked out elements from the SE Black don't carry over, but you do still get the panel roof and the light bar up front, as well as 19-inch alloy wheels, full leather on the inside, premium audio, ambient lighting, a power driver's seat, heated and ventilated front seats, and an auto-dimming rear view mirror. A nice touch for those late night drives. As far as pricing goes, starting MSRPs begin at $26,500 for the S, all the way up to $35,900 for the SEL. All right, now for the fun part. Small car, small engine, but no trouble merging into traffic. So right now I'm cruising down a stretch of Blue Mound Road that is notorious for its road imperfections that you can't see, but you can usually feel. Kind of hard to explain, but it almost makes almost whatever you drive down this road feel a little shaky for my own car. It doesn't last long, but with that said, driving this stretch, handling things okay in the Taos so far. You can still feel that roughness, but it's doing a good job of soaking up those invisible imperfections. So actually this is pretty comfortable, and it's quiet in here, and you wouldn't know that there's really actually anything wrong with the road necessarily. I'm driving the base model. This is the S, and this one is equipped with 4Motion all-wheel drive. Cloth seats, but they're comfortable. Lots of room in here, very spacious. I got a ton of headroom. This car feels bigger than it actually is. This is the furthest thing from an El Cheapo penalty box. Even the engine note, it's actually pretty decent. It's got a little bit of a throaty growl to it. Kind of like it. It doesn't sound wimpy or fake or forced or anything like that. Kind of impressed for a little 1.5 liter. I'm sitting in a little bit of stop and go traffic. Remember that old game from gym class in elementary school? Red light, green light? I get to live that every day on Blue Mound Road out here in Brookfield. But on these busy city streets, Taos is right at home. Ample get up and go. And again, it's smooth and it's quiet and it's comfortable in here. Whoa. Almost went over the speed limit. Turbo makes a difference. Visibility is phenomenal all the way around. With Volkswagen IQ Drive, you have blind spot monitoring anyway, but there is so much large glass. Still drive very safely and confidently. This has radar cruise control, of course. Pretty easy to use with that. You can toggle between that and normal cruise control. Or travel assist. Again, being a Volkswagen with IQ Drive, you do have that. This is kind of the old way that Volkswagen did infotainment. You get into something like the Tiguan or the ID4, you see a big touchscreen, capacitive touch controls. This, you've got a smaller screen, but you still have a power button and volume knob here, and then your climate controls. This one being the S, it's manual controls, but nonetheless you have knobs, button, dials, and then you have your gear selector right down here. We're going to see how the little Taos does getting onto the interstate. Can 174 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque adequately get me onto I-94 70 miles an hour? If I didn't have cars in front of me, this would be a better test, but I'm keeping up. I like it. The engine's not buzzy. There's a little bit of road noise, but it's only that. The turbo really helps. This makes good power, good passing power, good merging power. Other cars in this class, they can't handle the freeway. There are even some bigger cars than this that can't handle the freeway. I mean, they can get on, but it's kind of scary, pretty sluggish. You really got to be careful about your passing maneuvers in those, but this, no concerns, no complaints. Only trouble is dealing with afternoon traffic. But even in this base model, it's a comfortable place to be stuck sitting. Woohoo! Got it up to 80. Took a little bit there, not gonna lie, but still, the fact that it was able to do that, cool. Yeah, no concerns about freeway travel in this car. This gets up to speed, this passes. It's smooth. It sounds good. The suspension on this is great. This off-ramp is utterly horrendous. But in here, actually feels really good. Pretty surprised, pretty impressed. You wouldn't necessarily expect that from a base model of a subcompact SUV. But hey, they did something right here. Volkswagen did something right. Using this infotainment system is incredibly straightforward. Obviously, if I was to connect my phone here, you'd have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Obviously, there's a lot of different settings that you can configure. But really, it is a straightforward car. Easy to drive, easy to use, easy to live with, fuel efficient. Really nice. Really, really nice. And and set the cruise. There we go. That's keeping a safe distance between me and the van ahead of me. Yeah. It's not overly aggressive or annoying. This sort of traffic, actually kind of helpful. You do kind of have to help it accelerate though. After the radar cruise slows the car down to a stop, little bit of gas, help get it going again. I love the pickup on this. Alright, I'm on Davidson, coming up to my favorite dangerous curve. Good spot to test handling, agility. You do feel that this has a bit of a higher center of gravity, especially if you're comparing this to something like a Mazda CX-30 or perhaps a car like the Volkswagen Jetta. I wouldn't go too crazy in twisties like that. Just be careful, but you can still have fun. This is still a pretty tossable car. You just got to keep in mind you're driving a car that is still an SUV. It is a little bit on the tall side rather than just a car or a hatchback or a small wagon. But still, really fun. Yep. Those German engineers did a pretty good job of making a small SUV that I actually would like driving. And again, as you work your way up through those 4 different trim levels, creature comforts just get better from there. Looks good, feels good, drives good. I approve. Back in this should be pretty easy. Do have a backup camera, of course. Small size, pretty nimble handling for parking lots. Oh yeah. Easy. Sweet. That's the Taos. Volkswagen's Mini Tiguan, the Taos, is a solid offering in the subcompact SUV space. It looks good, drives well, gets good fuel economy, and really doesn't feel anything like its penalty box competition. It's got good power, it's very comfortable, and Volkswagen offers really cool paint colors like Monterey Blue Pearl, Cornflower Blue, and Bright Moss Green. And select exterior colors offer the option of white or blue interiors as you work your way up the trim levels. Considering the rest of the tiny SUVs available in the US market, der Taos ist ziemlich schon gut arbeitet Volkswagen. If you or anybody you know happen to be in the market for a new car, come and see me, Isaac Stefanski, down at Hall Mazda Volkswagen on Blue Mound Road in Brookfield, Wisconsin. New, used, certified pre-owned, I'll connect you with your brand new ride.